Hello, it's Richard Wilson, and today I want to talk to you about building your team from scratch. Whether you're starting your own business, it could be a wealth management firm or a family office or an investment fund or hedge fund, or it could be just your own private small business. I think building a team from scratch is one of the hardest things to learn. Almost everybody learns it the hard way, and it's just something that is critical to the success of your organization. So here's a few tips of what I've learned from building multiple teams from scratch for my own business, for my own capital raising efforts, and hopefully you can benefit from these, as I didn't really study this area at all in the past before I had to really do it. So the number one thing to remember is that if you hire the wrong person for your business, that mistake could cost you an opportunity cost or real dollars, at least $500,000. If you make the wrong decision, it can be a very costly mistake to make early on in your business. In some businesses, the difference between failing and succeeding, or the differences between growing at 100% a year or 30% a year, is based on that first employee that they hire. So one thing to remember is that when you first bring someone in-house, you want to interview them several different times. You want to get to know them over time, and if possible, hire someone that you've known from the past, that you've worked with, that you know you work well with, that you know has the skills and abilities you need. A couple other tips for building your team. First, start with usually a general expert or two, a general specialist or an expert specialist or two, so that they can wear multiple hats and do many different things for you and your team. In my experience, when you go from being a one-person business or one-person capital raising or fund management operation to a 2-3 person, you need to have a few people who can help with operations, help with handling clients and attracting clients, and help with just making you more efficient in running the business overall. So get someone who can be sort of an expert generalist. They're an expert in one or two areas, but they can do many things for you. They're not just ultra specific within one small area. Another suggestion is that when you have your team and you're building it from the very beginning, make sure that you think about their perspective. Why would they want to work for your firm? You probably look like a scary small startup to them that may or may not survive, and most people want a long-term successful career. So you have to emphasize they're getting in on the ground floor, they will soon be managing other people in your business, and that if your business does well, they're going to do well too, so they're very motivated. And the last suggestion related to all of this is something that's not intuitive or not very easy to think of when you're just maybe scraping by in the beginning or just barely getting started, but that is long-term incentives. When you hire someone to the team, make sure they have very long-term incentives for staying with you. Maybe their bonus is paid out that year, but then the rest of it vests over 2 or 3 years. In other words, maybe somebody gets a $2,000 bonus this year, but then they also get another $2,000 2 years later, assuming they're still at the firm. Or maybe the person gets a bonus for every 3 years they stay on your team. I don't think that people should be compensated mostly on how long they stick around, but you need loyal people on your team or you will fail. So you need to find ways to get people to stick around very long term, whether it's extravagant benefits, and part of your benefits package is you pay for their cell phone, you pay for their car lease, you pay for a business vacation timeshare that employees get to use as they're more loyal to the firm. You need to think of some creative things to get people to really stick around long term at your company. So again, it doesn't matter if you're running a wealth management firm, fund management firm, or your own small business. Building your team and structuring your team from the very beginning is really critical. And these things I've just mentioned are some of the most important things to think of that are not exactly intuitive when you're getting started. This is Richard Wilson, coming to you from the Grand Cayman Islands. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again soon.